What's going on, ladies and gents? It's Salvaje. I'm back with another Fortnite Save the World guide, and this is part of my Ultimate Beginner's Guide. You know, this is going to be a series that I'm going to be bringing you guys throughout the next couple of months, and this series is specifically dedicated to players that want to get into Save the World, or of course players that have already gotten into Save the World. And in this video, I'm going to be giving you guys 10 things that I wish I knew as I was starting Fortnite Save the World. If you want more tips, if you want more guides, check out the guides and quick tips playlist for Fortnite Save the World in the description below. With that said, let's get started. So when you first start playing Save the World, it can be overwhelming. The map is all over the place. There's multiple game modes that you can play. Long story short, don't worry about that. Just basically play through the story. That's my first tip for you guys. When I first started playing Save the World, I would basically, you know, sometimes play missions that wouldn't really relate to the main story. And that's basically something that I realized, well, it was pretty much a waste of time. So you want to make sure that when you're in Stonewood, you basically just play through the story, because as you play through the story, you're going to be learning specific things about the game, how training manuals work, you know, what are weapons, what is weapon evolution. All of these basics are actually taught in the game, and they are there, of course, if you pay attention to the stories and the missions that you are completing in Stonewood. So yeah, make sure that you are paying attention to what Ray is teaching you as you continue to be the beginning missions. Now, the next tip, second tip for all of you beginner players out there, make sure that you guys buy Fortitude, Offense, Resistance, and Tech skill nodes. And basically, simply put, that basically increases your power level within the game, and the higher your power level, the more damage you're going to do, the more health you're going to have, the more shield regeneration you're going to have. So if you are skipping those skill tree nodes in the skill tree tier 1, you're basically just missing out on your power level. It might not seem as much, but every bit counts, trust me. Now, the next tip that I have for you beginner Save the World players: when you are in Stonewood, don't level up your weapons past level 10. When you're in Plankertown, don't level up your weapons past level 20. When you're in Canny Valley, you don't want to level up your weapons past level 30. And when it comes down to Twine Peaks, well, you can take them to level 50 if you have the materials. But let's talk about Stonewood. The reason why you don't want to be leveling up your weapons past level 10 and past level 20, specifically in Stonewood and Plankertown, is this: when you evolve a weapon from a 1-star to a 2-star weapon, the materials that you need changes. For example, if you level up a weapon to level 11 when you're in Stonewood, you're going to need silver, right? And you can only find silver in bulk when you get to Plankertown. Now, when you get to high-end Stonewood, you're going to have some silver. But the thing is, if you use that silver when you're in high-end Stonewood, when you actually get to Plankertown, you're not going to have any silver to basically craft your 2-star weapons, or the weapons that you have evolved from level 10 all the way up to level 20. And that's another thing that I want to point out when it comes down to Save the World. Now, Save the World has star evolutions when it comes down to weapons and heroes. So basically, if you have a 1-star weapon, it can only be leveled up to level 10. That's basically just an extra tip that I want to share with you guys, just so you guys sort of understand the concept of evolution, which of course I will cover on a separate video if you are interested in that. Now, let's move on forward to the next tip. Now, when you first start out playing Save the World, the most common mission is going to be Fight the Storm. When it comes down to Fight the Storm, you want to be going for a pyramid build. It's one of the easiest and one of the most advanced builds, even at the end game of Fortnite Save the World. Even at the late game, it's still just the best, okay? And if you want to know more about pyramid builds, make sure that you check out my quick tips playlist, where I give you guys an advanced guide of how to make the best pyramid builds in Fortnite Save the World and why the pyramid build is amazing. Another tip that I have for you guys is this, right? Make sure that when you place a wall in the objective that you are protecting, make sure that you place inverted stairs in those walls. And the reason why you're placing those inverted stairs, it's because it basically makes the objective that you're protecting anti-smasher friendly. There is a mist monster, or a boss type monster, that has a lot of health, basically a bullet sponge. And if he sees a wall, you know, you're going to know when you obviously get to a smasher. But if a smasher sees a wall, he's going to basically smash towards it. However, if there is an inverted stair in front of the wall, the smasher isn't going to smash against your wall. So make sure that, of course, you are protecting your objective with the walls and, of course, the reverse stair. Now, another tip that is going to help you Save the World beginner players by a lot in the end game specifically, make sure that you're stacking up on training manuals. Okay, now training manuals is basically something that you get from, you know, dismantling blue heroes and above and blue survivors and above. But the point is, later on in the game, when you sort of get the transform feature, I believe you get it somewhere around Plankertown, you can basically transform your green level schematics. You can transform those green level schematics into just a blue survivor, and then you can dismantle that blue survivor for 1 training manual. And basically, this is just going to stack up your training manuals like that when you need them, which, trust me, you are going to need them. You're just going to be able to have a lot of training manuals. However, if you want tips on how to get training manuals effectively, I also have a video on the quick tips playlist. Okay, so another tip that I have for you guys, when it comes down to materials, you're going to need rough mineral powder, you're going to need nuts and bolts, you're going to need rusty mechanical parts. Let's talk about that, right, in this beginner video where I teach you guys the tips. First of all, rusty mechanical parts, you can basically just get that by destroying cars. And one of the biggest items that a lot of new players need is nuts and bolts. In fact, for all of you beginner players out there that are dedicated into Save the World, I recommend that you invest 1 hour of your time when it comes down to farming nuts and bolts. And if you want to find out how to maximize nuts and bolts farming, check out my quick tips playlist. I have a video on that as well. And the reason for that is because nuts and bolts is going to be giving you ammo. Now, when it comes down to rough mineral powder, you're just going to have to, you know, be breaking rocks. And when it comes down to things like rotating gizmos, active power cell, and copper, most likely you can get it out of toolboxes and treasure chests. However, don't worry, I am going to make a quick tips video on how to get those materials. Of course, feel free to check out the quick tips playlist if you're interested in that. Another tip for you beginner players out there, game etiquette in Save the World is important. And being AFK, believe it or not, can actually get you banned or get your account punished, alright? Make sure that you treat others in Save the World how you want to be treated. Make sure that you're not being AFK. Make sure that you're contributing to the objective. Another tip for you Save the World noobs, make sure that you don't trade weapons. Now, one big mistake that a lot of Save the World players make, specifically when they first start out, is they think they need the higher level weapons, like 106 weapons, 82 weapons. You don't. In fact, you are only going to be able to use weapons at the level that your character can handle. And this level right here that you guys are seeing on screen is only determined by the power level that you have in the game. And when your power level is very low in Fortnite Save the World, level 82 weapons, level 59 weapons just aren't really going to do anything. Another tip that I have for you guys also, make sure that when you first start out in Fortnite Save the World, you don't really spend too much schematic XP or too much hero XP leveling up green heroes and green weapons, because the truth is, when you're first starting out, basically anything will just get you by. You should be looking into upgrading, you know, specific heroes to legendary, or you should be looking into, you know, upgrading your legendary heroes basically when you're about to get into Plankertown, because I think that's when like it really matters what loadout you're using and what heroes you're using. But that's pretty much it, you know, just a video, my ultimate beginner's guide on just some of the basics for you newer players out there. And of course, if you want more tips or you feel like there are still more questions that you have, make sure that you check out the guides playlist for Save the World in the description, as well as my quick tips playlist. If you found this video informational, make sure to subscribe to join the Salvaje Cartel, and feel free to support me as part of the Support a Creator program. Peace out, and see you on the next one.